leading think tank in the UK. Let's start with Mrs. Clinton, if we can. Douglas, do you think she would be bad for us?
Let me just correct you very quickly, if I may, Jeremy. The HJS is a cross-party think tank, so I owe it to my left-wing colleagues as well as our Labour members to stress that.
Okay, we give you the label because we thought about it.
You thought about it for me. The question on Clinton, you said, what was it again?
I can't remember, to be honest.
This is why you have to get your research right.
No, that's fine. Listen, just you open up on either one of those candidates and tell us why you think they'll be better for us.
I mean, look, the interesting thing is, as Sir Christopher, I agree with almost everything Sir Christopher just said. The interesting thing is that there are a whole set of assumptions that people, I think, make about the special relationship, which have shifted over recent years and over recent presidents. I think it's one of the most striking things, to my mind at any rate, in transatlantic relations of recent years, was that revelation by President Obama before the Brexit vote that Britain had, in his view, no special connection to America, effectively.
When he said we would join the back of the queue.
We would join the back of the queue.
That was a big moment.
We would have no precedence over anyone else, no preference, no historic ties would be able to pull his sense towards us in any way. There was no love, no even memories, particularly. It was an exceptionally sad moment to those of us who regard the transatlantic relationship as being important. Donald Trump has said something quite different. He said that the special relationship clearly is very important to him, but then possibly President Clinton, shall we say, Hillary Clinton, has said very much the same thing. As Sir Christopher said, the special relationship goes on irrespective of who's in the White House, but whoever is in the White House gives an enormously important lead to that relationship. It is the intelligence relationship and the military relationship that is most important. But I think that one thing that really has to be mentioned is this NATO issue. NATO is the basis of our own security in Britain. It's obviously a non-EU body. It's something that we're a member of, irrespective of the EU, and it is the basis for our military strength and our ability to project that strength around the world. To that extent, there's been a certain amount of disinformation in this campaign, I would say, about Donald Trump. I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump by any means, but there's been a lot of claims that he's going to sort of destroy NATO or he's undermining NATO. And really, if one looks at the specific complaint people make, it is this issue of Donald Trump, rightly, I think, citing the fact that many members of the EU, of NATO, many members of NATO do not pull their weight financially within NATO. And that, by the way, that is not an unusual thing for an American leader to complain about. Previous American presidents have complained about that.
But it's an idea that it gives him an excuse to do the isolationist thing, which is to say, look, we're not policing the world. I'm sorry. Right. Sort it out yourself.
Exactly. And you see, one may agree with that or not, and I think it would be a very retrograde thing for the world if America were to step back in the kind of manner that Donald Trump would suggest. But the interesting thing about this is, as I say, it's been a constant in this campaign because of the glaring faults of Mr. Trump, not to mention the glaring faults of his Democrat opponent. There has been a temptation to pick up individual phrases and throw them around as something they're not. It is a very laudable thing, I think, to try to urge other NATO member states to spend the 2% GDP requirement on defence, as this country does. And there's nothing wrong with, I think, trying to urge people to doing that. The manner in which he did it people may quibble over. But I don't think that this argument that he's fundamentally undermining NATO is anything more than a sort of Democrat Party talking point.
And lastly, who do you think will win?
Oh, I think it's certain to my mind that Hillary Clinton will win. I was in America again last week. If Donald Trump had played his campaign slightly cleverer, then it could have been possible, particularly in recent days, when the FBI investigation reopened, it could have been possible for him to persuade those people who were so depressed by Hillary Clinton to instead of just not turning out to vote, to turn out to vote for Trump. And frankly, the jump you have to make to be so down about Hillary Clinton that not only can you not vote for her, but as a result you will vote for Trump, is just too large a leap for most people to make. So there's very little crossover. But one final thought, if I may.
Yeah.
People have been saying throughout about this, and I think rightly saying, what a terrible election this has been for the United States of America, that the world's leading democracy could turn out for the final two to choose from, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. What a terrible choice of candidates. And I agree with that. But by the way, it's much worse than that, because as a protest vote, you could vote for the Libertarian candidate or the Green candidate, both of whom are tiny percentage points in the polls and have no chance of getting in. But it gets even worse because both of these candidates are totally unsuitable even for a protest vote. So you don't even have a viable protest vote in this election. And that, I think, is something that both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party and America as a whole really needs to think about in the coming months, whoever wins.
Thank you very much indeed. Douglas Murray, Associate Director of the Henry Jackson Society.
We will make America great again.